Formula One is at its best when everything is up for grabs. The hardest racing and most exciting viewing happens as we get to the sharp end of the season and there are drivers still fighting for the coveted World Drivers' Championship. Let's look at the closest run seasons in Formula One history. Number 5. Schumacher versus Damon Hill in 1994. A season during which the lives of Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger were tragically lost, culminated in the title being decided at the last race in controversial circumstances. Schumacher led Damon Hill by 1 point before the final race of the season. On lap 35 of the race, Schumacher brushed against the wall and appeared to damage his car. Hill saw an opportunity and tried to overtake Schumacher. However, as Hill came alongside Schumacher's Benetton, the German took an aggressive turn which resulted in contact. Both drivers had to retire, meaning Schumacher won his first Formula One championship, beating Hill by 92 points to 91. Number 4. Lewis Hamilton versus Felipe Massa in 2008. 23-year-old Lewis Hamilton became Formula One's youngest ever world champion at the time, with a last corner overtake on the final lap of the final race of the season in Brazil. It was so close that when Felipe Massa crossed the line, he thought he'd actually won the championship, until 30 seconds later, when Hamilton grabbed 5th and the extra point needed to beat the Brazilian. Massa won one more Grand Prix than Hamilton that season, but little else separated them. They started 13 out of 18 races on pole, 7 for Hamilton, 6 for Massa, and delivered incredibly close racing all season. The final score was Felipe Massa on 97 points and Lewis Hamilton on 98. Number 3. Niki Lauda versus Alain Prost in 1984. In 1984, Austrian Niki Lauda secured his 3rd Drivers' World title by defeating McLaren teammate Alain Prost. Realising he couldn't match the young Frenchman on outright speed, Lauda often started behind his teammate as he concentrated on race setup. His decision paid dividends as he beat the Frenchman to the title at the final race in Portugal by being a more consistent point scorer across the year. Lauda won 5 Grand Prix in 1984 to Prost's 7, but only finished outside the top 2 once all year. He also became the 2nd driver ever to win the World Championship without scoring a single pole position all season. Final score, Prost 71.5 points, Lauda 72. Unbelievable. Number 2. Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen in 2021. In an era from 2014 to 2020 that was dominated by Mercedes, no one thought that they could be challenged for either the Constructors' or Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen had been improving and growing over the previous seasons. He was a Red Bull wonder boy, but racing against a Mercedes car that was the fastest Formula One had ever seen was considered almost impossible. The season saw the two clash on multiple occasions. Max Verstappen had a huge crash at the Silverstone Grand Prix after contact with Lewis Hamilton. Then a few races later, at Imola, the two collided again, with Max Verstappen's car landing on top of Lewis Hamilton's. The two came together once more in the penultimate race in Saudi Arabia. Before the final race, they were neck and neck in the drivers' standings. Some controversial decisions by the race director meant that going into the last lap, Lewis led Max from behind the safety car, but on much older tyres. Max overtook Lewis and drove off to win his first World Drivers' Championship. Final score was Lewis Hamilton on 387.5 points and Max Verstappen on 395.5 points. Number 1. Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Kimi Raikkonen in 2007. In 2007, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Kimi Raikkonen were all in contention for the Drivers' Championship. Heading into the final Grand Prix in Brazil, Hamilton was ahead with 107 points. Alonso was second with 103 points and Raikkonen third with 100 points. Raikkonen actually only led the standings on 2 separate occasions, after the first and last round, and was 26 points adrift of leader Hamilton with 10 points for a win at the time, after 7 races. For much of the season, it seemed the title was McLaren's to lose, but their reluctance to prioritise one drive over the other meant Raikkonen could sneak through and beat them both. The final standing saw Hamilton and Alonso remarkably tied on 109 points, with Raikkonen one ahead on 110, having entered the season finale third in the standings. Which of these title battles was your favourite to watch? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. This is it from F101 for now. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Till next time, take care.